Welcome to the UDP broadcast.
A podcast where a group of friends get together and talk about gaming-related topics and offer both informed and uninformed opinions with the resub from the Crit Chicken. Awesome. Thank you for that.
I derailed you.
It did. That's fine.
With me tonight.
Yes.
Or with us tonight.
We
have Lumi.
Yeah, this guy.
I'm talking over because his brain is on dial-up mode.
Lumi.exe has stopped working. Please reboot.
It's all right. Barco's got this. He's done this. He's a pro now. So let me get over.
I'll let you continue. Don't worry.
Yeah. So we've got the Nordic Cajun. We've got Imee, the Eternal Barcode.
Yo.
And from the Emerald Dream, Raina the Crit Chicken.
Jalen's also here saying, "Did someone say tentacles?"
God damn it, Jalen.
Yes. Are you ready?
So 10% of all the revenue from the show goes to the Trevor Project, and that revenue can be bits, donations, subs, and all that stuff. And the Trevor Project is a really wonderful charity. I highly recommend you guys check it out. Ping has more information.
The Trevor Project is the leading organization working to end LGBTQ youth suicide in the US and beyond. The non-profit operates several programs to help prevent and respond to the public health crisis of LGBTQ youth suicide, including 24/7 free crisis services, research, advocacy, education, and peer support.
Thank you, Ping. As a reminder, this is an opinion show. We have opinions just like you do. So
don't sue us, we're poor.
Yeah, that our opinions don't reflect the organizations that we are currently employed or associated with, et cetera, et cetera. Don't sue us, we're poor. Yes, all of that. So,
I will eat your bandwidth.
Yes, might as well throw that in there too. And Crit Chicken has the tentacle. What is that from, Crit? I keep seeing that.
It's literally, you can literally find it on the emojis. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of cool.
Sorry.
That's fine. Okay. Let's get started here. I've separated everything into topics because there's been a few big things going on. I've got a bunch of smaller little ones we're going to rapid fire at the end. Let's talk about Helldivers and Arrow Head Stuidos. Yeah. Let's see here.
Ever get a call from your parent company with the CEO going, "What the fuck are you smoking?" Well, it wasn't the CEO of Sony, but the Arrowhead Studios CEO got a phone call from the friendly, and I quote here, the friendly people at PlayStation who asked me what the fuck I was smoking. Basically, that spawned from the fact that their servers were having some severe stability issues, and he basically said, just wait. Don't buy the game right now. Just wait out. Let it all settle down. And then come buy the game afterwards. And Sony, being Snowy, just really likes money. So they were more focused on getting money versus, letting people wait for server stability. And it was so dumb because the CEO, his name is
Don Pilestedt, or are you talking to someone else?
Yeah, John. Yeah, so he had basically said, chill out, wait, we're having some problems, and just don't buy right away. And then he had a second post saying on Twitter, if you have no cash, get it later while we make a really fun game that's worth, waiting for until the servers get up to capacity. Well, that didn't fly with Sony, or I mean Snowy. They like money, like I said, and they were kind of upset. They really wanted him to push sales and not push patience, which doesn't surprise me.
It's Sony. Say it ain't so.
I know. It's like Nintendo don't and Snowy are fucking each other.
I remember when he did that. I was like, that's brilliant. Normally, publishers don't care. It's like as much as you can push out, don't stop. And this guy's like, no. We don't want people hating our game. Hey, we're having problems right now. Give it a few and then buy the game. I think that's acceptable, right? I mean, considering
that's how it should be by default.
Considering the people that we're playing is like, it's amazing. So you've got people, in the chamber ready to log in, right?
Yeah.
So,
and his full quote is actually really nice that he put out there for that second tweet, and it basically reads, "If you have no cash, get it later while we make a really fun game that's worth waiting until the servers can support the capacity. I mean, as a CEO, I of course want the game to be as profitable as possible, but if you spend your last dollar and got stuck in server queues, I'd be heartbroken. And yeah, like, and that was in reply
Common.
to somebody. Sorry, I was going to follow it up. He was in reply to somebody who said, "All of you taking up Helldivers 2 need to stop that shit right now. You're making me want to buy it, and I have no money." And that's what he was replying to. That's good leadership, and that's
ladies,
good community
and gentlemen,
building.
It is.
when and as a CFO or CFO or CEO, whatever it
CEO.
is,
Chief,
that is just
Chief created a CEO. Okay, all right. I thought he was. He might be CCO too. I have no idea.
No, he's the
That's-
CEO.
That's just common fucking sense. Like, sure, the bottom dollar has to be pushed at some point, but how many of these quote unquote big titles have come out a buggy mess? Looking at you, Pokemon. Looking at you, Cyberpunk. Looking at you. Insert your game here. Games that were rushed and were a decimated mess for their fan base to the point where they had to bring the whole game back. Looking at you, what's the game that me and you and I played, Lumi? The versus game?
Multiverses? No,
that one.
Yeah.
So like, I would rather them come out there. Like he talked to somebody that made a comment. First of all, let's throw that out there. And he put his whole person into this comment. Like, no, I want you to wait.
Yeah,
Wait.
like that's
I want
good. That's good company leadership.
And
knowing your
that,
customers, knowing how to build bridges with your community, and how to grow your community.
and for me, we all had like a little sour taste in our mouth because of the whole Snowy thing with Helldivers. Because we were all big Helldivers fanatics for a while until Snowy did Snowy things.
Yep.
That is a big pull in the right direction for at least Helldivers as the company, ignoring.
Well, that
Snowy.
was in 2024, so that was last year, right around Christmas, when they had a huge uptick, and they just didn't have the capacity to support it. But still, like, that's a good way of doing things. It's a good way of earning that trust with your fan base, that you're not just going to pull the wool over people's eyes. And actually, that was when John Pilestedt was their CEO. Now he's their CCO, so Chief Creative Officer. And that leads into a different thing we can talk about in a little minute. But yeah, it just builds freaking community trust and player trust, and builds communities. It's not hard.
It's not, but it's rare. It's rare because the big board members want to see their profit margins go up, but they don't understand. If your clientele ain't happy, you're not gonna make no money. That's just common sense.
They're playing the game called Capitalism Plus. So,
and they're failing.
Well, here's the thing. And this will go to Crit, because she's our resident WoW expert. How much better would the public's view of Blizzard and WoW be if they built bridges like that, when if they were having issues like that, to say, pause your subscriptions, we don't mind if you cancel, we understand, while we try and sort out server capacity, in past rollouts when they've launched new expansions. This past expansion launch was really smooth, but previous ones, how much better do you think they would have been received as a company if they were that much more talkative to their audience?
I mean, they're still getting shit on for like the stability issues with like, well, Overwatch and hardcore, when people are trying to go into raiding with hardcore and then you get a DDoS attack and stuff like that. Like today.
Well, like, a DDoS is
Um,
not something that I will ever hold against the company, because that's a targeted attack, right? It's meant
yeah.
to disrupt. It's not for a lack of equipment or a lack of capacity. That's just people, absolutely hammering the servers with requests, to the point where the servers are stuck answering these requests faster than they can answer a request from, a game client. So I won't hold them against that, but
I think they could be better about like responding to players that have lost their characters because of it. Because, it's pretty brutal when you get up to like 30 or 40 or 50 or 60, and then you just have a cluster of people just dying because of DDoS attack. It's not their fault. It's not Blizzard's fault, but I know there's the whole terms and conditions. Oh, you signed up, it's hardcore, disconnects. I can understand it if it's on the player's side, if the freaking, it's the internet providers or whatever, if there's like someone hits the transformer outside or something happens, natural disaster, whatever. But when it comes to like DDoS attacks and so many people dying, you know, what can you do to rectify that?
Yeah. For DDoSes, there's nothing you can do really. You can try and get better DDoS capacity and mitigation, but you can't stop people from being whiny little bitches and attacking someone's infrastructure. In terms of better stability for regular players, um, I think it would be interesting if there was a way to tell on the server side if a client DC'd because of something on their end or something on the client end. I think it would be relatively impossible to tell the difference. But if it were, it would be nice that if you did die in hardcore because of a DC that was on their end, your character would be restored to exactly where it was, or like not where it was, but placed in the closest friendly area. That way, you don't have to restart over. And if it detects it's like a client desync, like I don't know, you unplug the damn cable to try and trick it, then that would penalize you and kill your character off.
Because that was a thing that we used to do on Obsidian Edge for hardcore was we didn't have like these official hardcore servers. We had like unofficial ones, but our videos of us DCing or whatever, for whatever reason, would go out to, moderators for appeals or whatever to say, yeah, you can continue on the hardcore journey. You know, so it's just like it feels like this time around with the official servers is kind of more unforgiving. So it's just like I don't know. There's a lot of people that are just unsubscribing because of it, and I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how they're going to address that. But I mean, it's anywhere you go, there's probably going to be people angry here and there. But yeah, I
Yeah,
would.
that's understandable.
It'd be good if more companies were transparent with their consumers.
which comes
Transparency goes a long way. I think I just cut you off, Nord. Sorry.
I was gonna say, which comes full circle back to Jalen's comment earlier when I mentioned the complete mess that is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And he said his opinion similar to mine, and he got flack for it because let's be real, the Pokemon fan community is on par with fan communities of like League of Legends. They're just full of toxin, no matter what Nintendo does, or what Game Freak does or doesn't do. But Scarlet and Violet as a game was a terrible, buggy, horrible, unfinished mess when it came out. Their most successful games to date just because of what it brought to the community in terms of shiny hunting and raids and stuff like that. The raids are still absolutely horrendous and with no balance in them. The game itself was released unfinished. And you could tell by the glitching of the Pokemon, you falling through the world in random spots, straight up just connecting, whether you have a cartridge or the digital version, doesn't matter. Your game says, oh, there was a problem, and you lose all your save data if you didn't have autosave on. And that's from one of their mainstay games. You rewind the clock a year from that time, we Arceus, which was a phenomenal game. It was a finished game. There was never any DLC for it. It was just a one and done game.
On that note, I remember Arceus coming out, and even years along the lines, whenever I was perusing YouTube or whatever, they'll even say like, yeah, it's not the prettiest game because you can actually see the repeating textures if you're high enough and things like that. But other than that, it was super solid. There wasn't really anything that they could complain about mechanically. So
no, it brought a whole new aspect to catching the Pokemon, battling with the Pokemon. Shiny hunting is still to date my favorite way of shiny hunting is playing Legends Arceus, just because of the freaking Pavlov feeling of hearing the shiny sound. It is such an endorphin rush to hear that sound, knowing that, oh my god, I found one. You could have been the 50th Starly or the 100th Badoo that you found shiny, but that sound was phenomenal. Answer my question then. Why could they not have taken the one thing that the entire fan base loved the most and put it in the damn game for Scarlet and Violet? Why take all the good stuff that happened in Arceus and do nothing with it in Scarlet and Violet? They did nothing properly well from Scarlet and Violet. I mean, from Arceus to Scarlet and Violet. Period. The DLCs started getting better until they got to the Legends. That's another tangent. I'm not going to go on tonight. Everybody knows how I feel about them fucking shiny locker shit. But when it comes to a game that was a one-off, spin-off basically of the main lore to your straight up, this is our new main title, and you went 2 steps forward with Arceus, but then 15 steps backwards with Scarlet and Violet, and it comes in terms of just capability and finished product.
You know, I think Arceus was probably a test, and I bet you Scarlet and Violet was being developed in tandem, which is why you have 2 totally different dynamics.
It's possible because Scarlet and Violet, Arceus was 100% testing the new waters about the open world and interacting with Pokemon the way it did.
Mm-hmm.
But if Legends Arceus was a testing ground, Scarlet and Violet was a fucking petri dish. They threw whatever they could in there to see what stuck, and you could tell. You could really tell from like the graphics were definitely better than Legends Arceus. I'll give it that. Especially when you go into the dungeon, the raids. The raids and the animations in the raids are gorgeous, but the raids themselves are so freaking buggy. And then that's what you have to go to get the Mesika to be able to shiny hunt. You have to go fight over and over again in buggy raids and pray that you get a drop in something. And can't even get through the raid because half the time the thing is just burning the clock, but it's frozen on 1 frame because it's bugged out. Nah, you can't tell me that testing was not done. They rushed Scarlet and Violet because of the success of Legends Arceus. I will die on that hill, and I will stand arm in arm with Jalen when it comes to that kind of shit. Because Scarlet and Violet, though it was the most successful in Pokemon's history in terms of sales and just fan base, it is not even close to being the best Pokemon game they've created, by far. They had a chance to redeem themselves with ZA.
That was my next question. And that is, like, do you think that we're going to see the same type of functionality with ZA that we did with Arceus? Do you think it's going to come out as a complete game? I mean, it may not be. I haven't seen any of the screenshots or gameplay of it yet, and I think they've actually finally released some on the last Direct or Pokemon Direct or whatever it is.
But for Pokemon Day, they released an entire trailer of both, like, just the cinematics and some of the actual gameplay.
Yeah, thoughts?
Is first of all gorgeous. The game, from the trailer and what they're showing, the entire just cinematics in the city look more alive and vibrant than every single town in Scarlet and Violet. Period. Full stop. It's stupid. It's apples and oranges comparatively in terms of the liveliness of the area. The combat system is the closest we're ever going to get to a live action anime style combat system, because you can actually move your Pokemon around to dodge attacks in the game, as it were, like in the anime. The moves will have cooldowns instead of you be able to spam moves. So it's more tactical RPG movement than actual, like, what we're used to that we've had since Pokemon Red and Blue. 4 moves, his turn, our turn, whoever's faster goes first. You actually have to think about what you're going to do. And I think competitively, that's going to change the game in terms of the competitive scene, in terms of how Pokemon are played.
Wait, there's a competitive Pokemon scene?
Oh, yes, sir. They have worlds every year for both the actual Pokemon game, like 1v1s or 2v2s, as well as the card games and everything. They have a whole slew of things that happens in Japan every year. Like, it's a big thing. My brother actually got involved with it one time. He literally spent months IV training and shiny hunting to get a 6 squad of shiny perfect IVs to compete in an actual tournament. And I'm proud of him for that, because I love to try that, but the patience, time, and effect you have to go in to do that, I don't know if I could see. Jalen was saying something to me. I asked myself, "This is gonna do I? It's not why if we're missing why so keep on doing it." Because I am under the firm belief that Game Freak and Nintendo are very good at dangling the carrot in front of their fan base. They know what we want, and they know they could give it to us. They've given it to us many times before, but like every other generation fails in terms of their games. Case in point, Ultra Moon and Ultra Sun was the last big release on Nintendo DS, the 3DSs. Slam dunk. You could go hunt every single Pokemon you want, legendary wise for shinies in the Ultra Wormholes. Phenomenal. You get to the Switch, Sword and Shield come out. Game is his first real dive into the 3D realm. True dive into the 3D realm. A lot of people hated Sword and Shield. A lot of people hated Sword and Shield. For multiple reasons. I myself think it's one of the better Pokemon games on the Switch generations. It ranks up there with Legend Arceus to me. But a lot of people didn't like it just because of just they say it didn't look good enough. Like, a lot of people get hung up on graphics a lot. Mm-hmm. I grew up with 50 Shades of Grey Game Boys. I could give a fuck.
Are you sure? 50 Shades of Grey?
50 Shades of Game Boy. That's awesome.
I'm
like, if the gameplay is there, I mean, as long as it's not two stick men running around trying to throw Pokeballs at each other, I'm okay with it. As long as the game is functional, I can overlook some graphical issues.
You know,
but if the go ahead.
No, you were mid thought. Sorry, I thought that was the end. I was going to try to interject. Go ahead, finish, and then I will interject.
I was going to say was if the game is gorgeous and it's pretty and there's not a pixelation to be found, but I'm falling through the world every 5 steps because I'm trying to go catch the shiny Lechonk around the tree around the corner, what's the point of fucking playing?
Well, it's just a Lechonk anyway, right?
I mean, the pink bacon is very pretty. It really is.
Okay.
The pink bacon?
Yeah, Lechonk's a pig.
It's shiny as pink.
And Lechonk is a pig.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a pig Pokemon. Sorry, I had to translate. I mean, he doesn't play Pokemon.
No, I'm very confused.
Personally, I think there are plenty of things you can do in Pokemon games. Put me on the team, dude. Put me in charge of the shiny design team. Give me 1 week with a shiny design team, and I will fix every terrible shiny in that game.
Speaking of design.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I chased that rabbit straight down to
you're dead. Land. Back on back to the CEO of Arrowhead Studios, though. With the other thing that he was actually, now my brain went broke again. I'm getting old or something. Had to deal with game design theory, which was kind of neat, and it brings up some interesting things. And this kind of applies to what you're talking about, Cajun, is the fact that John Pilestedt would talk about fundamentals over features, and that's where you should focus, is your fundamentals. I mean, take, for example, how many people here have played Super Meat Boy?
Me.
I
have.
I have never played that.
Have you seen it?
Super Metroid? Or Super Meat Boy? Yes. Meat Boy.
Okay.
I've seen people play it. I've never played it myself.
What
about you, Critter?
Oh, she may have stepped away, and that's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, she has to take care of something very important. So, but yeah. So if you think about it, Super Meat Boy is at its core a platformer. Forget all the stuff about indie dev, 2-people team, for Team Meat, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, just take that out of it. Let's talk about platforming and Super Meat Boy. Platforming and Super Meat Boy was the focus. And they added in a few extra things in there to make it really awesome, like wall jumping and things like that. And this is outside of like the artistic value of whatever it is. It's core game mechanics that is involved with what your game is about. Let's put it in terms of Pokemon, which is what we were just talking about. If Pokemon was focused on capturing monsters and battling monsters, just those two things, right, before they started like filling everything out, because that's generally the way most development goes. You get your core done, and then you add features around it. Even in today's microtransaction-laden mobile games, they have to produce the minimum viable product and have plans for extending that out, so that way you'll spend more time with their game, right? Yeah.
Go ahead, but I have something to talk about with that, with getting all your features set up.
Oh, I think that was my period. So go for it.
I was just going to say that speaking of features, going back to John Pilestedt, as a chief creative officer, he wants to see designers go back to the basics. Get your foundational portion of the game done first. Get the core gameplay mechanic done first. Then worry about features, menus, and stats and everything else. But that core gameplay loop has to be focused on first, because if you don't have your fundamentals in place, you're not going to have a game. It's like when you see really shitty games designed that are just complete cash grabs because they don't have a good gameplay mechanic or gameplay loop, and they have, thing after thing after thing you can buy in an online store or whatever. That's not a game. That's just, milking people for money. If designers would get back to that basics of, I'm going to make a game that has this gameplay loop and make sure everybody's excited about it, then, then you can do stuff. But until then, it's just garbage.
Yeah, pretty much. And you see that in a lot of games. Take any game developed by Ubisoft in the last 10 years.
Or hey, if you want to do a case study, Balatro.
We got that later today, so we'll get into Balatro here in a few.
Okay.
Yeah. But let's move on from Arrow Head Studios right now. Oh, there was one other thing here where, with the wild success of Helldivers, the developers and Arrowhead were invited to talk at the United Nations on. Let me get the wording right here. It said, nope, that's not it. Oh gosh. Could we brainwash an entire community to fight for a fascist state? Would they be okay with that? Turns out, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So there's that. But yeah, so that was another interesting thing with them. So we've covered quite a bit. The next thing on our list is going to be all AI. So yeah, it's my favorite, and it has to deal with video game companies and AI voice acting, which isn't voice acting.
No, it's bullshit, shitty reproduction that's not even a good reproduction.
So let's just start
it's like voice acting from Temu.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
It's because the CEOs spent too much money on cocaine and crack instead of spending it on actual human beings to do voice acting. They're like, let's just go to wish.com and get our voice acting there.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, for as much as the models get better and better and better, it will never fully replicate the human experience. And that's just all there is to it. It can get close artificially. But
tell me you're a talentless hack without telling me you're a talentless hack.
Yeah, especially if they keep mispronouncing words that you don't pronounce that way. So, but, so SAG-AFTRA is the organization that is backing all of the voice actors and game developers and things of that nature to be treated fairly, and IME has better words for what a union is.
Yes.
So basically, they look after the voice actors and they want better working conditions. They want to keep AI out of the video game space, the movie space, TV show space, because voice acting is an art form. It's a talent to have. It's insanely difficult. And to have these cheap knockoffs just rip off or attempt to rip off your voice is insanely insulting. And the worst part is, because it was digitally created, the voice actor whose voice it's modeled and trained after doesn't see a single penny. So that's like, especially when it comes to art, an artist draws something, I trace over top of it, or I get, AI to trace over top of it, and then you know what? That's mine. And I'm going to sell it as much as I want. And there's nothing the artist can do to stop me.
Pretty much.
And they get to watch their art get ripped off wholeheartedly and no consequence. And that is absolute dog shit.
Yeah, there's been a lot of headlines over the last few years where there was one that was hilarious, and the entire community blew this dude up. But he was watching an art stream, and he screen capped.
Oh, right. We talked about that.
We did. Yeah, he screen capped their outline and unfinished product and used AI to fill in the blanks, and then had the nerve to tell the artist that they copied them because they finished their work before them and they're an AI artist. At which point the
Yeah.
community turned around and was like, wow, see that hat over there? Go ahead, Amy. What should they do with that hat?
They can go fuck it.
There you go. See? That's just the way that works. But they're looking at, so over the last few years, SAG-AFTRA has been advocating for, fair compensation for the work they put in. It is an art form, right?
Mhm.
So it's now going industry-wide. So it's no longer just Blizzard, or it's expanded. It's like, no, we've got to clean up this industry. And to be quite frank, absolutely they do. There's no concept of full-time employment when it comes to working for developers. It's all project-based. Like, there's just a lot of stuff going on that this union will actually take care of between the actors and the creative talent that actually makes these games, which is absolutely exciting. I want to see it happen, like 100%. Because we need to talk about AI more. Not we as in a podcast, but we as in like a global community. Like, what is this going to do? Is this fair? We need to take care of our artists. Why aren't the companies taking care of the artists? I'll give you a hint. It's because they don't want just your money. They want all of the money.
Yeah.
So, but aside from that, like, I think that's great. Industry-wide SAG-AFTRA, let's go. Like, do it.
Hell
Communication
yes.
Workers of America, let's go. Like, that's a thing. But they're also spawned off into a few other stories. Let me pull this one out. Game industry is broken. Oh, that's the same topic. Hold on.
No, it was Code, the commercial CWA. They were looking at unionizing the entire video game industry.
Right. Yeah. No, that's I have two articles here. I've got one for game and developer, and the same one for rock paper shotgun. They all like to share. So
yeah.
But,
no, and that's awesome. I'm excited for this because the easiest way to not have a union in your business, whatever that is not to suppress union activity. It's make your company so attractive that people don't think to start a union. Because people start unions when you have shit tier, pay, benefits, whatever else. Environments like toxic work environments are a good way to get a union started. If you don't want that, then treat your employees well, and I mean fucking well. Pay them what they're worth, not the industry minimum or the industry standard, quote unquote. That is completely garbage. Another thing to do is be open with the pay structure. And I can't stress that enough, because if you want people to stay, you don't want to know, especially if you're a woman working in the industry, you typically get paid about 70% of what men get paid, and that's absolute garbage.
I have never understood why we're still in that position where we're paying people less because
you're not allowed
of
to talk
gender.
about your pay. Don't talk about how much you make. We're not allowed to do that. That is a form of suppression and discrimination, because what that does is it makes it seem like you'll get in trouble for doing it.
But
And
legally, you can't.
well, exactly. And I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple of years ago, there was a huge uproar at Blizzard when somebody who was, I think she was an artist for Blizzard, posted something about making ends meet or whatever on whatever she was getting paid, and her coworker doing the exact same work as her was being paid almost double. And he was like, "Wait, what the fuck? You only get paid this much?" And he's like, "I get paid this much for doing this." And then a bunch of other guys responded saying, "Yeah, this is bullshit. I get paid this to do this." And then Blizzard was like, "Oh, maybe this is bad." That's how you get a union started, you dumb fuck. If you sit down and you take all your positions, and you can even classify them or categorize them if you want, and you make that publicly available, not hidden through like 15 different emails to 9 different people to try and get the info, just on your internal website, pay rates. You can click on that. You can see that for developer, entry level, an intermediate, and a senior, you get paid this much per year. This is the company-wide benefits that everybody gets, so you don't have mixed and match benefits between people, because that's another thing that happens. So treat them well, treat them with respect, treat them like they're human. and be empathetic and compassionate to them, number one. Number two, pay them way more than what the industry standard is, because the industry standard is what is the lowest we can get away with before they won't come to us to work, and give them goddamn good benefits and be transparent and open about everything. If you can do that, you'll never have to worry about a union. And the last thing actually on top of that is a dispute mechanism that works, a reporting mechanism that works, that deals properly with harassment in the workplace or disputes in the workplace. If you can do that properly and openly and transparently, the chances of you having a union start in your company are next to nothing, because people won't be incentivized to, because they'll know that if there's a problem, it's going to be dealt with. They'll know if there's harassment in the workplace, it won't be tolerated, and you'll deal with it as appropriate. Like, that's what you do if you want to protect your employees and look like a good developer. But the game industry is broken, and industry standard, quote unquote, like I said, is the
It's a
absolute
buggy
lowest.
mess.
Yeah, the industry standard for pay is what's the least I can pay you that I'm still going to attract you to come work for me, and that is absolute horseshit. Absolute horseshit.
Yeah, it is. Let's get into.
Sorry, that was my long-winded rant to say.
Oh no, it absolutely needs to be said. Never apologize for being like, "Hey, this is why this shit exists." Like, if it was off base, I would have been like, "Yo, me." So, Barker, let's talk about this for a minute. But then again,
you want to talk about long-winded? I took up 30 fucking minutes of the podcast talking about my anger against Pokemon. You're good.
That's all right. So, how many of you are familiar with Ashley Birch?
Sounds familiar.
Ashley Birch
does not sound familiar.
Is the voice actor for Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn and Westward Bound, or whatever the sequel was. Have any of you played the Horizon series?
Sadly.
Me, no.
Robot Dinosaur Tamer, I think, is the best synopsis. Open world robot dinosaur tamer, I think, is probably the best way I could like compact it all into like one sentence. That's what it is. And Aloy is the main protagonist of the entire series, redhead young lady, and whatnot. And this
not a female protagonist, Lumi. No, be careful. You're gonna call in the neckbeards.
Oh no, it gets worse, because what happened was this week there was a leak from Sony where they had an AI-powered Aloy talking in real time and having a conversation with someone, and that video just disappeared. And voice actor saw that and was actually quite fearful for what's going on. And it's just like, oh, this is bad. And immediately called like SAG-AFTRA and was like, hey, this is a thing that's happening. We should talk about this. So it's still being talked about right now, but that's like the big thing that happened this week. And as time goes on and we find out more what's going on with AI, we'll talk about it. That's just what we do, right? Same thing with the voice actor for Karlach. What's her name? Samantha Beert, I believe.
What happened with Karlach? Who we fighting?
Oh, same thing.
Who we fighting? I love that's your default response. I think that's everybody's response for that cast of people. If they're having a shitty time, it's like, all right, who am I fighting? Who am I fighting?
All of them need to be protected. They are such
absolutely.
I love every single one of them.
Oh my god, yes.
So,
I have to go watch them play D&D because
yes, that was a really good.
Oh my god! Sorry, let me be fantastic.
That's fine. But she she's speaking out against AI voice acting as well. Just AI in general. Says artificial intelligence is creating an oil and water situation between artists and executives, and that's the headline from DualShockers, right? So that's absolutely true. Because why would you want to pay an artist when you can just have your team cook up a voice?
Angry. Angry.
Yeah.
Just angry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope OpenAI, one of their lawsuits is going on right now for copyright infringement, I think it was. I hope they lose that badly, and I hope they have to pay out millions upon billions of dollars.
I just saw it on Blue Sky.
So
the federal judge voted unanimously against copyright protection for AI.
Sweet.
Like,
that's
it was
really good.
Unanimous decision.
Good. Because here's the thing. AI has a time and a place, for sure. AI has been in use for numbers of years now. It's only in the recent, about 5 or so years, 6 or so years, where large language models or chatbots have gotten to the point where they can actually seem somewhat human, where videos can be done by AI that look semi realistic, except they still really don't, and imagery can be generated by AI.
Mhm.
However, it's been in use for years doing other things, such as looking at pattern recognition. It's used in sciences to look for stuff that isn't easily able to be discerned from a human looking at raw data points. So it is in use and does have a place. I think in the medical field, if it's trained correctly, because there's a lot of chances for bias, especially as most women know in the medical field, there's already sexism still and misogyny still. Not to mention, if you're a woman of color, you're going to have even more of a hard time with racism in there. So l- AI models are trained on the input. If the input is based on only one subset of people, it's not going to be trained correctly. So as long as it's trained correctly on a wide variety of people from a wide variety of cultural and linguistic and every other background out there, it's going to be a much better AI for doing diagnostics of people's health than it will if it's only been trained on one subset. Because especially when you consider like genetics and how some people are just more genetically predisposed to bulk up. Some people put that on as fat, some people put that on as muscle. I know a few people who can't slim down because anytime they go to the gym for any length of time, they end up bulking up muscle, even if they're doing long sets, like long short sets of reps just to tone muscle. They bulk up, and it's just their body does that. So you got to train it correctly for that. But when it comes to science, that's really interesting because that's where it can start finding a lot of patterns and a lot of things that you wouldn't normally be able to recognize. So it does have its uses, and I think there are very absolutely definite niche areas where you could have AI, but we have to be careful when it comes to anything where it involves human beings, especially when it comes to chatting, visual imagery. Doesn't matter if it's videos or pictures, and audio. Like it has to be licensed from the original models it was trained from. If it's not licensed, then I have a problem with that.
The proper way to do it, in my opinion, I don't know how they could pull this off. If you want AI to take a conglomerate of sources for different artists, those artists not one need to be named in every artwork that gets created, but they need a royalty if it was made with money.
Oh yeah,
That's
definitely.
one way to slow down the AI like raffle vomit that's going on right now.
Right. And as it stands right now, the only people fighting AI is the artists that they're even the music folks are like. I need to talk to Buzzy, by the way, because I know that one of the things that Buzzy said is at the moment you score the note, it's yours. It doesn't matter, right? So songs are explicitly belonging to the artist that created them. So I don't know how remixes and stuff work. But like in the same vein, the show Andor, I believe that its developer is also saying that no, I'm not going to release my scripts because I don't want it to be AI script. So no.
Fair. That is absolutely fair.
Yep. And you mentioned Chat GPT with legal complaints and whatnot. There's a story that was out this week where ChatGPT gave the user gave ChatGPT their name, and it accused them of made up crimes, and so now they're suing ChatGPT because their AI
Good.
is saying stupid shit.
Hmm.
So good, Dad. Like companies that are developing these models need to be held responsible. Like no joke. They need to be held responsible for what their AI does. 10 to 15 years ago, there was on Twitter, who remembers MST?
No clue who that is.
I think I know where you're going with this one. This is the one where the bot.
Yeah,
told it- yeah.
the bot was just trained on what data it knew and was designed to continue learning, and people taught it to be racist and a person from Germany in the 1940s. There you go. I don't
Yeah.
I don't want to say the actual word. So yeah.
A muskrat?
Yeah, there you go. So
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Topical.
yeah, indeed. So yeah, no, like that, like I said, there was like 2 to 3 huge things here that we needed to talk about. This was the Arrowhead Studios, and John Pilestedt was one of them. SAG-AFTRA and the fight against AI is the next. There was two huge themes going on this week, at least coming through the news bot. So I tried to like organize everything. We have a couple smaller fun ones, and I'm just going to give you the headline, and we can just discuss that because I don't really care about the contents. It's the headlines that I normally choose from. If the headline is attractive enough, or it's like, oh, I never thought I'd see those words put together. Right. That's how I choose, and that's when I tag you guys as like, who does this? So let's go with the first one I have here. Oh, we didn't get into the Pal World stuff, and I'm not worried about that. Pal World's awesome. So
we can do that next week.
Yeah, Pal World is amazing.
Yeah, Pal World and Nintendo ain't going anywhere. So, let's see here. Would you like to taste fish soup in VR? Me neither, but this electronic tongue does it anyway. Apparently, there is a mouth interfaces where you can taste your game.
No.
But to be fair,
no.
But before you say anything, Cajun, high on life, and that's where I'm going to leave it.
Also, anything involving tentacles, bud.
High on life.
No.
Hear me out.
Oh, no.
Hear me out.
No.
There's plenty of VR games that have delicious looking food.
Okay, I will give you...
if you could take that technology and make it to where you could actually taste the apple, the chicken wings that you're eating in the game to heal you, that'd be a cool thing.
Was it Kingdom Come Deliverance? Or Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I'll give you that one. That one has really good looking food.
Yeah, they've gotten really good at that. I remember when Final Fantasy 15 came out, and they were running around, and one of your guys is a really good cook, and they had some of the best looking food coming across their table. I'm like, man, I want to eat that. I mean, Monster Hunter Wilds by itself was solely responsible for the uptick in garlic naan being consumed in Japan. So
two things. One, I didn't see 2025 bingo card having me mentioning tentacles and me saying "hear me out." Didn't think that was gonna be my bingo card for this year. The number two, give me a dungeon, the Delicious in Dungeon anime. Put that in VR, then we'll talk.
Or how about this? Who wants to taste the people that are in chat and VR chat?
No.
What?
Exactly.
That'll be the line I draw.
I mean,
VR chat is going to have nothing but people running around with oversized tongues, slurping everybody.
Yep.
That is disgusting.
Let's see here.
No, we do not want to smell people in VR chat, Jalen. It will be nothing but BO, shit, and like absolutely horrendous dental care. It'll be halitosis times infinity.
To quote,
you're gonna just smell Mike Wazowski's ass running around in VR chat.
We're soon gonna be at a point where we get Professor Farnsworth's smelloscope.
Huh?
Oh, the smelloscope. Oh God, no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
where's Jen?
Absolutely not.
I smell pastries that way.
It's gonna smell like an anime convention. Gross.
That's intense.
It's gonna smell like weeb.
LocalThunk, that is the developer for Balatro, and I know Cage has been geeking out over some Balatro.
Big numbers go burr. Big numbers go burr.
Yes, it is. It is definitely number go up simulator. It's really good. It seems like he wanted to kind of remain completely anonymous and just work on his game, but he had no idea Balatro was going to foist this much like attention onto him.
Dude, it's growing daily still. People are still getting geeked out about this game.
Oh yeah,
and that goes back to our original comment about take a core idea and do it well. He took poker and a roguelike idea and did it well. And it's
absolutely
gorgeous. It is a wonderful game. And it's already been a year since the initial release, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's already it is still growing.
Geralt of Riviera is starring in his game now. Like, come on. Like, this is a game that was coded completely with if-else statements in Lua, right? Which goes back to, if you ever watch Pirate Software, make your fart hotel. That Miami keeps reminding me to do.
Yes, go make your fart hotel.
Yes.
So,
I mean, that one's a funny story. If you don't know the guy that made Five Nights at Freddy's, literally released in the same year a game called Fart Hotel for mobile, and it was literally your looking. You're all in a hotel or not a hotel, in an elevator, and one of you farts, and you had to name the person who farted. And if you got it wrong, everyone in the elevator laughs at you. And then apparently
Mhm.
somebody told him his his animal characters looked like scary animatronics, and he's like, scary animatronic game.
Ta-da! Now we have Five Nights at Freddy's. It's just it's finding what you like and what you're good at, and then making it, and just do it. Just take the spaghetti and throw it against the wall. Need to get the spaghetti out the pot and do it. That's just my problem.
Yep. Let's see here. Next headline. We've got the creator for Papers, Please. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Papers, Please. I even think Total Biscuit played Papers, Please, didn't he?
He did.
He did.
I've played it. It's really hard for me because I can't work that fast. I can't work under these conditions.
The developer's name is Lucas Pope, and I'm going to read this headline to you. It says, Papers, Please creator Lucas Pope says, it's a tragedy. His 2013 immigration sim now feels so on the nose. You want your work to be relevant, but at the same time, wow, I really wish it was not this fucking relevant. So, for those who don't know, Papers, Please is an immigration document approval simulator. I haven't played it. Amy has. Could you give a more succinct description of what Papers, Please is?
Yeah, you're in a communist country. You get paid per person you approve through the checkpoint. It starts off very easy where you have to compare like passport labels or whatever, and then eventually progresses to they need visas, immigration paperwork, work permits, along with their passport being checked. You get attacked from rebels every now and then, and it just gets progressively harder and harder and harder. But the idea that you have to prove yourself everywhere you go, because people are just going through a little bit of a checkpoint. It doesn't say if it's a border checkpoint or not, it's just a checkpoint. So the fact that now, especially in the US, if you're a foreign national staying in the US for more than 30 days, you have to have registered with the US government to say that you're going to be there for more than 30 days. And the paperwork they issue, you must have it on you at all times. So now stop and frisk is going to become a real problem if it isn't already. Because there's going to be added incentive just to walk up to someone and say, papers, please. And if you don't have them, you're looking at jail time. Like, that's insane to me.
Welcome to America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the laws are made up and your freedom doesn't matter.
Wow. Okay,
That's funny.
That one came from deep within me. I had to cough it out. Jeez. Okay.
That was good. I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
I get one good joke a day, and that was it. I'm done. I'm done for the year.
Okay.
I'm walking out.
All right. Last headline that caught my attention. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Zenless Zone Zero, which is in the same rail of Honkai Star Rail, which is in the same vein as Genshin Impact, right? It was one that was released. I think Seraphina Noir was actually playing it for a bit when it first came out. There was some disco turtle she was dancing to, and she was showing me. So, but Zenless Zone Heroes latest update adds cat testicle jiggle physics.
Oh, right. Yes, I heard about that.
So
jiggle.
apparently Zenless Zone Zero is full of jiggle physics on all things. I guess they just forgot the cat balls, and that was an important patch note update. I don't know. I didn't bother reading the article. I just looked at the headline. I was like, oh.
They are an equal opportunity jiggler.
Yeah. So that does it for the lightning round with all the extra stuff that I found with just headlines. I
must have misheard. No, you didn't mishear.
Nope.
Cat ball jiggle, sir.
That's right.
Hey, check out host chat.
Just remember that the next time they offer to bring your Cosmo into their game, he will jiggle. Mm-hmm.
You can see host chat.
What's that? Oh, hold on.
Did you check out host chat?
I did not check that host chat. Hold on. Is it the jiggle physics? Hold on.
There is the jiggle physics.
No, that is the jiggle physics. It kind of reminds me of that episode of South Park where the dudes are sticking their balls in the microwave to get testicular cancer.
Oh, right.
They can get the medicinal marijuana.
Sacks.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that trash panda's definitely packing. Like,
Crit. Oh, my God. No. It cannot be unseen. No. Another bigger. No!
Here,
Stop!
this actually has a URL. I'm going to post this into chat because why not?
They've got their own gravitational pull. Stop.
Just to let you know how bad it is. So yeah, let's talk. Let me get that in the chat. Let's talk about what we're doing this next week. Cajun, let's talk.
Hi. Let's think. I don't know.
You know? How about you're living life, drinking beer, watching hockey with your son, and working for a living? I mean, that's perfectly acceptable. Oh, and Monster Hunter.
That's how life. That's how life has been. I haven't streamed in the past 2 weeks just because of how freaking tired I am when I get home from work. Like, quite literally, my boss walks in and says, "Hey, we have a lab meeting. Everybody come see real quick." I'm like, "Oh boy, this could only go well." So we all are gathered around her, and she's like, "Okay, so in the next 2 weeks, we are moving things around in the lab, and the two that Nord, I'm not gonna use my real name, of course, that Nord is working on, we're getting two more, and we're putting them right here." And I'm looking at her, I'm like, "I only have 2 arms. The hell you gonna how the hell am I gonna work with 4 machines and twice the amount of urine with half the help that I have?" So I'm important. They are really using you, boy. They literally, I'm looking at it right now. They literally bought me a work laptop so I can log in from home and make sure my machines are running properly. That's
my goodness,
where I'm at.
did you get work from home privileges? That's awesome.
Yes. Like, it's nuts, dude. Like, this happened in the course of a month and a half.
Nice.
So that's good. Things are really good professionally when it comes to that shit. When it comes to my hobbies, they've been kicked in the nut home, and I just see the bed, and the next thing I know, I'm getting up for work the next day. But I am getting better. I am probably gonna put more of a lesser importance on streaming for a while and focus more on YouTubing. I want to focus more on actually content creation for a while.
Yeah.
Because I think my ideas that I have and that I can do with video editing, I can do better than just trying stream shiny hunting and stuff every night. Because I have ideas for Pokemon, I have ideas for Monster Hunter for YouTube, and I have ideas for other little roguelites I want to do. And I think that's a better use of my time than me trying to stream 3 or 4 times a week to myself. You know, I mean, I have my people that show up normally, like my Seraphinas and my Lumies and everybody. But I think if I really want to see a future in content creation, I have to start with something like YouTube and doing shorts on that and TikTok and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So that's where I'm going to be heading here, probably starting this week. I already have footage captured for my first video. I just have to finish the narration, and I can put it all together. So I think I'm going to focus on
Can't
that.
wait for that. Which, by the way, youtube.com / is it the Nordic Cajun there?
I'll get a link because it's actually a combo channel right now with me and my son. It's just Nordic Country.
Nordic Country, okay. So youtube.com / Nordic Country. So there you go. You get to see some Nord and Nordling action.
I'll get the official link real quick. It still says my moniker at the Nordic Cajun, but if you go there, it's the Nordic Country with my VTuber and his little PNG tuber.
Sweet, perfect, awesome. Imee, let's talk about what you're doing, and to further accentuate while Imee's talking that he can multitask, here's this gameplay of RoboCop. So what are you doing this week, Imee?
I am packing tomorrow as I shoot an Ed 209 that I knew I was going to have to murder, because I have a flight Tuesday morning at Zero Dark Stupid over to Florida, because I'm going to go see my wifey for 2 weeks. That's going to be fantastic. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm packing. Yeah, that's really all I'm doing. Monday I'm supposed to be working, but we all know that I'm just not going to be thinking.
There's only going to be one thing on your mind, and she's adorable. So that's all that.
Oh yeah, it will not be all the documentation I have to fill out for a bunch of projects that are getting started, and it will not be any like the request forms that go along with that. It's definitely going to be just like, can I count on the time yet?
Imee's going to put his laptop down at Chris' place, and the next thing you know, Chris is going to topple him. Boom, that's going to be it. Game over.
Well, I'm not even bringing my work laptop, so.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, good. Leave the work in Canada.
That stays
Leave the work in
behind.
Canada. Like
beautiful. You'll love to hear it.
Nope.
That, and I probably wouldn't be allowed to use it in another country, so
Fair.
the company would probably get pissed.
just a little bit. Yeah.
No crit code distractions.
There you go. Speaking of crit, what do you got going this week?
Well, I am going to be receiving my husband
Hey!
for 2
Is that going
weeks.
to come in a large box?
Yeah.
No, it's a small
Pack
box.
them up.
You're a barcode. Didn't take much.
No,
Right.
it's not.
It's an envelope.
It's not a small
Please
box.
please
Okay.
I set that up. I did it. I did it. Yay!
God damn it.
You're welcome.
That's not my barcode turning red. That's you turning red.
Ha, 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 ha. No, but Adventures of Wait. So I'm excited for that. Probably I'm gonna try to squeeze in a little bit more season of Discovery because I'm kind of enjoying it a little bit because I've been kind of running my head into the ground with hardcore after almost me and my son almost getting slaughtered by Murlocs with a random disconnect. So that was fun. But yeah.
I am so upset that my sound bar thing does not work anymore in this freaking Discord. I am angry.
Sad face. I don't even have mine loaded up, so you don't get a Murloc sound.
It should work. I mean, we are literally the only people allowed to use that in here.
There used to be a soundboard icon right here, and it no longer exists. And I am the sad.
Oh.
Oh.
You know what?
Poor the sad.
Yeah, I don't see it either on mine, honestly. I see start an activity, share my screen, or turn on camera, and I don't think you want to see my mug right now.
Gotcha.
I like
All right.
that we're doing troubleshooting with that when I can just go.
Yeah.
I hate you.
There we go.
PTSD
I did it. I
triggered.
saved the day. Lumi, what are you up to?
Buy me
He
some
does not want to
time.
hear that.
No, buy me some
He
time
does
real
not want to
quick.
hear. He doesn't want to hear the rest of the soundboard and all the anime ooh-woos and stuff.
No. I'm trying to fix that right now. Hold on.
My God!
I just wanted to.
I would
throw
play a
the
JR quote, but I'm pretty sure he would actually copyright strike us. So, anything else to add, Crit, for what we're doing? I know we're going to go take some tours around some places, go drive some places, visit a bunch of parks probably, and do some stuff with planes.
Planes go brrr. But
Yes.
I was trying to quote the soundboard with the little, and then my son just like he's sitting right next to me right now, and he just kind of like dropped his head saying no.
That's amazing.
Okay.
No.
So, all right, I fixed the permissions on the categories, so they're done. Let's see here.
Hang on.
What?
I wanted to see if it came back. It didn't.
It did. God damn it.
Yep. Okay.
I don't have it. I'm sad still.
So,
Okay. You guys playing that sound or going to go into the washing machine?
Wait,
I don't
the
care anymore.
soundboard. I found it.
All right. So,
go.
anyways, Lumi, what are you up to?
Aside from fixing soundboards and other things, I've got another project in the works. Lately, I've been getting into automation games. I'm going to leave it at that. So be on the lookout for what's coming out up to this channel. I haven't really been streaming much because I've been taking care of adult matters, and that's fine.
Fair.
Yeah, adulting.
But I'm looking to turn that
feel that
around. I think I finally negotiated something, so perhaps maybe I can just make the magic happen. Maybe. Other than that, a whole lot more work, a whole lot more trying to find places to write code, and that's it. I don't really have a whole lot going on this upcoming week other than work and potentially playing some game. I'm not sure which. Lately, I've been playing Desynced, and that was a lot of fun. Unlike the belt stretcher that is Satisfactory, Desynced doesn't have any conveyor system. It's all done by little robot drones, and I thought that was kind of cool. And your central command tower controls your robots, and this is on top of, they've implemented an entire like drag and drop node-based programming language, so you can define behaviors for your bots, which is kind of cool. You need a bot to pick up trash, you can make one because there's not one by default. But for resource management and things like that. Like I need iron, it'll go get you metal ore. I need crystals, it'll go get you crystals, which is nice because it's really hands off and you can focus more on the building than on than on supplies, which is kind of nice. So that's kind of where I've been at right now. I don't have anything else to add after that. So yeah, no, good podcast. 91 part 2 or take 2, I think I should say.
Yeah, for real.
Well, no, so last week, what happened is that there was some really loud parenting going on, and I was watching my mic key up, and I was like, oh, we can't do this tonight. So which is why I was like, turn it off and go actually adult. So
I blame the children. They should have large dodgeballs thrown at them as punishment. I mean, you only in a movie can you get away with throwing a wrench at someone if they can dodge a dodgeball, but just large dodgeballs should suffice.
Oh yeah, just balls in general with jiggle physics. Thank you everyone for stopping by. You should totally stop by our Discord. It's discord.gg/the UDP broadcast. We've got all kinds of cool people there, like our very own Seraphina Noir and Warbringer Jalen. I believe next week and the week after, we're going to be -1 crit and 1 barcode. At which point, we're going to have some guest hosts, and I've got confirmations. And those guest hosts will be Warbringer Jalen, Greedy, Echo 1VT, and from the OG series of the start of the podcast, Mr. Boombody will be filling in as a guest host. Been a long time since we've had him on the show, and I'm looking forward. Yeah, I know, exactly that. I'm looking forward to seeing him stop by and having a lot of fun. He seems to be doing all right, and I'm glad to have him back. That's it.
Yes.
So, until episode 92, have a good week. Enjoy everyone. And, Cajun, you do the thing this time because I fucked it all up.
You guys stay awesome. You guys ready up. And as always, don't be a dick.
Bye, people.
Good job.